All right, all right. So the first question arises. The very first question with which we are going to start is how to get marks in geography, how to write geography answers. These two are very important questions. Just a second. Yes, Akhilesh, tell me. If you wanted to understand how to get marks in geography, so how to write the good answer in geography. All right. First, you should understand what kind of questions UPSC has asked in geography. It has asked about the evidences of continental drift theory. It has even asked about what? The patterns in shifting of what? Iron and steel industries. All right. It has even asked about, last year it has asked about volcanism. It has asked about earthquake. It has asked about tsunami. All right. So these kind of questions. It has asked about salinity. It has asked about, this temperature, rainfall, monsoonal patterns. It has also asked El Nino, La Nina has been asked. All right. So all these questions has been asked. These kind of questions. So what to do so that you should be getting good marks in geography answers? This is the opportunity when you get in paper one. Geography is the opportunity where you will be making diagrams. What kind of diagrams is there is needed? Let's say last year it was the question about volcanism. I think it was about the causes of volcanism, right? So you should be able to see that in any question, anything which is being asked in geography, this paper, you will have to show the spatial extent of that particular thing, and you should be able to know how to create diagram in geography. For example, it should be very handy for you to create India map as well as world map. All right. So how to write answer? Let's say here you will have the question printed in your examination paper, and there will be narrow margin which will be available here. So you start intro here, and here in this side you are going to create diagrams. All right. Then again here you have written the answers. Again on this side you are going to create diagrams. That diagrams must be placed in the box, and there must be any subheading for the diagram about what you wanted to explain. So geography answers must include what? Spatial extent. And when I say spatial extent, it does not simply mean that you should be just giving one example of that particular phenomena which is happening. You should be using a map, and you should be talking about the region. That is very, very important. So first thing, I'll just show you how to create India map and world map in India map in 10 seconds, world map in 25, 20, 30 seconds. All right. So you should practice this. This is very, very important. All right. So this is 100 centimeter ISO height. 100 centimeter ISO height line. All right. So this is India map. When you have to create world map, just see this. What is the purpose? What is the purpose? Here, at least, thematically it should be correct. It do not need to be very accurate because you will not have that much time. Thematically, it should be correct. So let's say last year it was asked about volcano. So you can simply talk about this region, and this region. These two regions are what? Volcano prone region. All right. Or for that matter, if they are asking about earthquake, so you can talk about earthquake prone region. But do you need to create this diagram in entire page? Entire page? No, do not create it in entire page. You have to make this diagram by giving this much space. All right. And do not just simply put that. I'm just telling you how to make diagram in geography. Do not just put that and say that these are volcano prone area. Do not do that. This is not a complete diagram. You'll have to mention it like this is Pacific Ring of Fire. Pacific Ring of Fire. Here you'll have this Mediterranean region. All right. So this will be, that means what? You must label your diagram. You must label your diagram. Do not leave after without labeling the diagram. Let's say if you are asked about earthquake in India. Let's say you are asked about earthquake in India. So you should be able to create the these kind of diagrams. All right. So here we have the what? We have the, this is zone 4. Sorry, zone 5. Look. This is all the part of zone 5. Zone 4 is not there. This will be zone 5. Zone 1 ko. Zone 5 is there. Zone 2, zone 3, zone 4, zone 5. All right. So this is zone 5. Here you can write about zone 2, zone 3. Again it is coming towards zone 4. All right. Here you can say this one is zone 1, zone 2, and zone 4. Again, about Bhuj, intraplate seismicity. All right. Here also you'll have zone 3, zone 4, and zone 5. Are you understanding my point? Means you will have to create the diagram. Let's say if you had asked about, okay, iron and steel industries. So you know that conventionally, where are iron and steel industries located in India? Tisco, Jharkhand, and Tamil Nadu, Salem, and in Karnataka also. All right, so you will have to show certain locations. But many iron and steel plants are coming up near the market region. All right. I am just giving you some random examples how to make a diagram. You just first think that what do you know about that particular topic and then start creating the diagram. All right. So this region will be having iron and steel industry. This is called what? Like the Great Lake region of United States, we have got this region, right? And then some part here you'll have the Salem industries. Some in Karnataka you will have. So So here you will have Chhattisgarh to Jharkhand belt. That will include Odisha also. So this is iron and steel industries. Anna. Similarly, coal belts, you know about that. Umarsar region in what? Umarsar region in Gujarat, Singrauli, MP, Korwa, Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, Raniganj, West Bengal. All right, Kargil ranges, Jammu Kashmir. So can you locate that on map? These things you must remember. All right. So UPSC, let's say I am just giving you one example. I'll come to the topics also. Don't worry. Let's say UPSC asks about the trade pattern in India. Trade pattern within India. How to create diagram for that? Can you think of it? Can you think of it? Trade pattern within India. बना दो जल्दी डायग्राम बना दो 10 seconds India map and diagram. Trade patterns within India. So what do you understand by the idea of pattern? What do you understand by the pattern? If you are asked about trade pattern, what do you understand by the pattern?
The export ingredients that we send outside.
Pattern in any case, this is very crucial word to understand the question. All right. Pattern, wherever it has been asked, let's say UPSC asked about the cropping pattern, UPSC asked about the trade pattern. You know, what is pattern? I'll tell you. If you go to a shop, let's say you are going to a tile shop and you are creating a pattern on this wall. So there will be, what will be that? That pattern will be visible when you see it from, you know, from a distance. So that means what? In case of pattern, you are talking about shape and size. Shape and size, first thing. Shape and size, first thing. And in pattern, you will also be talking about, let's say, this octopus or squid. Have you seen the squid on chessboard? Below the chessboard, there will be squid. Squid will be camouflaging according to the, you know, the surface it receives. It goes. All right. So it changes the, you know, body color according to the surface which is present. All right. All right. So this change is also noted in pattern. All right. So shape and size, then change in that shape and size. And this change will be of two types. This change will be of two types. Yes, that will be temporal change also. Temporal change and some spatial change. Temporal change and some spatial change. Now you write about the trade pattern of what? Within India. Now you can write about the trade pattern within India. Did you understand Mosam?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. What is the shape of trade which is happening in India? shape of trade. So trade will be happening. I'll tell you, since it is geography. So in geography, first thing you should be thinking shape and size, which I am talking about. In India, all the states will have different size. All right. So you cannot just be very confirm. It will be zigzag definitely, but you will have to show that in diagram. All right. So I'll say larger states will have more internal trade. Geographical larger area will have more, or you can say not more potential for internal trade. It will be there, no? For example, Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh will have more potential for internal trade than that of smaller states like Ladakh. All right. But on the contrary, it will also have, the trade will have the locational advantages. For example, in Delhi, it will have much more trade than being a very small state, but it is at the center, but it will have the much more trade than that of what? Haryana, let's say Jammu and Kashmir. Are you understanding? So this is one point. Another point is trade will be happening between industrialized and non-industrialized, producer state and consumer states. It was there in the GST. No, that Bihar is particularly Bihar and UP region. These are what? These are consumer states. But on the other hand, Gujarat is producer states. All right. Gujarat is producer states. Agro-based, this trade is what? Seasonal in nature. Agro-based trade is seasonal in nature. All right. So what kind of seasonal in nature? Seasonal fruits being transported from South India to North India, Northeast to Central India. You can say that Northeast to Central India, West India to Central India. And then one more thing, which is what? Raw material based trade. Raw material based trade. So those states which will have high raw materials, for example, this Chhattisgarh to what? Jharkhand region. It will be trading what? Coal or iron ore with other states. Mind it. All right. So this kind of trade is there. Can you create that on map? You do not have to write that. You do not have to write that. You will be writing that, and that will be not, that will be consuming large space. Create a map. Here you can also talk about what? There are three types of trade. Pre-independence, and then 1950s. This is pre-independence. This is 1950s. This area is pre-independence. This is 1950s to what? 1990s, and after 1990s to now. All right. So pre-independence, what? More focus upon external trade. External trade was much more than internal trade. All right. All right. 1950s to 1990s. Here also you can just you can just put some decades in between also if you wish. So 1950s to 1970s. All right. And 1970s to 1980s. 1980s to 1990s, you will have what? Electronics. Electronics first time in India came during this time only. Trade in electronics has increased. 1970s to 1980s. All right. Raw material trade. And 1950s to 70s, you will have mostly agro-based trade, which was there. All right. Between the states, outside the states, everywhere the pattern will be similar. All right, and 1990s to now, you will have what? BPOs. All right. We have become the exporter also. Earlier, we were only importer if you talk about the external trade. All right. All right. So regionalization, personalization of trade. E-commerce has come up. So one of the beauty of e-commerce is what? One of the beauty of e-commerce is it is not space, location specific. A person in Delhi can order from Kerala also. Are you understanding? So here you can look at this. This one is for e-commerce. This one is e-commerce. All right. Here you will be talking about northeast to what? Central India. बहुत ज़्यादा गिचपिच नहीं करना है. You'll have the horticulture trade. Horticulture trade. And this is what? This is seasonal in nature. You write it here, horticulture trade. All right. Then from this region to other regions, you will have this region is net exporter of what? Net exporter of coal and other minerals. This is what we talked about, no? Coal and other minerals. Here you will have the Delhi. Here you will have the Nhava Sheva. Nhava Sheva, in Mumbai, JNPT port. Yes.
sir.
Kochi port. Here you'll have some Koringa ports, Haldia port. All these will be what? Location. You can just place it here. Location specific trade. Location specific trade advantage will be there. From South India to North India, what is going on? Spices. Mainly spices will be coming from South India to North India. Now look, you have created a diagram which will have certain, leveling. Certain leveling. So examiner will be understanding, okay, you are able to picturize it. You are able to present what you think. Are you understanding my point? Krishna Kant? So this practice you should be bringing in your writing habit. In geography particularly, I'll tell you, be geographical. When you go to solve geography, think according to the geography. Geography means first thinking about the location. What is the particular location of that particular thing? Is there any locational advantage? Is there any advantage with the Delhi? Yes, it has got the advantage of connectivity. It has got the logistical advantage. Being the capital, it has got the logistical advantage. But is there any advantage of the coastal region? Port-based advantage. All right. So you should be thinking in that way. And mind it, if there is a question which is coming on volcano, let's say last year volcano question which has come. So how to start with the intro and how to write the conclusion in that case. All right. So if it is asking about tsunami or it is asking about the volcano, you have to set the context of what has been asked. Sometimes this context can simply be set by the definitions. You write the definition. Volcano is a dent on earth crust through which mantle plume come out, results in creation of infrastructure or creation of certain structures. Volcanic landforms can be of two types. There are two regions for volcano, natural region and anthropogenic region. Yes, in volcano also you will have some anthropogenic region. Nuclear testing, these kind of, can result in the fracture on earth crust, and from that fracture you can have this fissure type volcano, slow volcano, which will be there. Are you understanding my point? So always try to, when you have given the introduction, when you have come to the body part, you must give it a structure, natural and anthropogenic region. And if you are being talked about what, the landforms, volcanic landforms which are associated with it, that has to be written in what? Let's say you talked about the definition of volcano, or some current affairs which was there, or after then you talked about the causes, and before causes only, after the definition only, you will have to show the spatial extent. You'll have to create a map immediately and show the spatial extent. Okay, these are the regions which are volcano prone, so that examiner should have this in clear, this thing in clear, that what, where lies these volcano, where, which locations, which region we are talking about. Are you understanding my point? So first thing is this, and immediately after then you will be coming to the regions. Then I told you what, give it a structure, natural and anthropogenic. Then after then you will be coming to what, volcanic landforms, give it a structure, intrusive landform and extrusive landforms. Are you understanding my point? So definitely you will have to, you try to think about the structure. Do not move without a structure. Are you understanding? And what about conclusion? Let's say even if you are getting the question from physical geography, try to give the conclusion from human angle, human geography angle. Let's say this volcanism you have discussed, but you know that volcanism is not well predicted, is not well understood. So can you write like this, that complete understanding of the volcanism as a phenomena will help in regional development or balanced regional planning in this the entire volcano prone region. Did you understand that? अरे लिख लो, ये ideas miss हो जाएगा. Volcanism as a phenomena, whatever the question is there, you modify the words according to the question. Let's say it is give us better planning. It will give us the better balanced regional planning. Of that region. Or let's say you are talking about the earthquake. So if you understand the mechanism of earthquake, prediction of earthquake, predictability of earthquake increases, that means what? Better planning in that region. We can mitigate the better disaster management will be there. Are you understanding my point? समझ में आ रहा है?
Yes, sir.
So this is one thing which you must follow. So sir, you will say, sir, let's say we have not studied about let's say tropical cyclone. This time they may ask you about the effects of tropical cyclone. How to put the effects, how to think about the structure in geography, in body part, how to think about the structure, what kind of a structure you can provide. I'll tell you, look at this. This is India. If you are not having time, you are running very short of time and you take a lot of time in making diagram, so you can simply represent India like this also. All right, but do not do that. Avoid doing that. Somebody is making this and somebody is making this map. Definitely this will have more impact. It is a relative examination. All right, so in notes you can put it like that, but never in the examination. I will suggest not in the notes also. All right. So I was talking about, let's say it is talking about the tropical cyclone impacts. So this is the this is India. All right. So what should be the tropical cyclone impact? How to give it a structure? I am not interested in impact. How to give it a structure? Yes, very good. Very good. So the impact region, you can say this is the impact region. This is a coastal region. This is coastal region. All right. Or you can say island region also. Island region also. Island region, coastal region, and corresponding to that, that single word is hinterland region. So it will be beneficial if you go deep inside the hinterland. Tropical cyclone will bring the cool breezes. All right, will bring the moderate rainfall, but it will be extremely dangerous for the coastal region. It will be associated with the storm surge. It will be associated with coastal flooding. It will be associated with high wind velocity. So that's why you will see that, you will witness that maximum harm of tropical cyclone is witnessed by the coastal states only. All right. So this is one of the structure which I am talking about, which you can provide. Are you understanding my point? You will say that since tropical cyclone, it is almost predicted. Predictability is no more a challenge now. Earlier it was a challenge, so it is predicted. So you will say that integrating the effects of tropical cyclone in regional planning. In regional planning can help in effective disaster management. Simple. अपने आप बना लो. You understood the theme, na? What did I say? Integrating the effects of what? Tropical cyclone in regional planning can help in effective disaster management. Look at this kind of conclusions. If you have not practiced it here, believe me, there it will not come. So you need to practice it here only. And I'll give you certain words. Wait for it. In society, let's say in society, next class is about the society. No, so we'll be doing this geography. You should have all of you just keep a glossary of words. All right. So make for geography there must be 2 pages glossary of words, and those words should be organized topic wise. All right. So let's say if you are writing answers in society about the women, about the tribal, about the scheduled caste, or about the old age people, all these are socially subjugated, economically exploited, and politically powerless people. These are the punchline. So you said a lot of things by saying these 3 words. Socially subjugated. अरे लिख लो साइड में कहीं पे, भूलेंगे वहां पे वैसे याद थोड़ी आएगा. सुन रहे हैं बैठ करके, क्या होगा उससे? लिख लो. Economically exploited and politically powerless represents, let's say you will be saying that tribals represent this particular section. Are you understanding? So these kind of punchlines should also be collected by yourself. All right. So let's come to the topic now. I suppose all of you know about the geographical concepts. You know about the geographical concepts. All right. So first thing we are discussing about geomorphology. What can be asked from geomorphology? It has asked about continental drift theory. Now I will be cutting it from here. So evolution of Earth's interior and its sources. It will not be asked. Continental drift theory has been asked. Seafloor spreading theory can be asked, and plate tectonics theory can be asked. Geomagnetism is a very important topic which can be asked. All right. So causes of geomagnetism can be asked, and effect of geomagnetism can be asked. Seismic waves and earthquakes, it has been asked. Geomorphic processes will be asked. Landforms can be asked. The most important landform is what? Karst topography. All right. Volcanism has also been asked last year. Right. So you know about that. This is the previous slides only. All right. So what I am going to do is I am going to explain you how to utilize this content in writing the mains answer. All right. All right. So look at this. This theory is already provided with certain structure, assumption, theory, evidences, and criticism. UPSC asked about 10 marker question. In that, it asked about what? One of its criticism, that paleoclimatic evidence of what? This continental drift theory. And believe me, till that time, nobody knew about paleoclimatic evidence. There are very few people who knew about paleoclimatic evidence. Understanding of paleoclimatic evidence is very important. All right. So UPSC can ask about a very minute thing also. So this is the most suitable conclusion, introduction in this case. Alfred Wegener, in a series of paper in 1920s, has given continental drift theory. Although, if it is asking directly about explanation of this continental drift theory, so I have always explained it to you that what? Wegener became over ambitious and tried to paint the picture of entire world with the single stroke of brush. Are you understanding? So you should not be very poetic, but you should simplify that. All right. It has been the statement of a geographer. All right. So Wegener idea was over ambitious, filled with ambiguities, but it became the basis for development of further geographical theories. Like it became the basis of plate tectonics theory. This is the conclusion. All right. And theory, you know that Sial is floating over Sima. These are assumptions. Pangea was surrounded by Panthalsa on all sides. Tidal forces, westward rate, and differential gravitational pull, which was there, which was having the equatorward movement. Theory, you know about that. Differential gravitational pull and tidal forces, the split into two halves named Angara land and Gondwana land, and Tethys Sea divided that. All right. Mountain formation happened because of the rugged friction. So how you will be preparing? You now try to see all this content with the mains perspective, that how to write this in mains. All right. Island formation, because the fast moving continent could not match the pace of the what? Slow moving continent could not match the pace of the fast moving continent. So that's why it formed as island. This is paleoclimatic evidences. Glacial deposit in equator and tropical region. Example is Kareva deposits. So when you write the answer of geography, put geography into it. If you find some coal belt in tropical temperate region, so that is what? That is the evidence of continental drift theory. Presence of coal in the polar region. Alsace-Lorraine. Alsace-Lorraine is where? Germany and France. We'll be reading about the First World War. This region only has created this First World War. Alsace-Lorraine. Then paleomagnetic evidence, you know about that. Jigsaw fit, you know about that. All right. So biological evidences, fossil evidences, these things you know. Do you know that? Then criticism. What will be the criticism? Again, I have already explained it to all of you that tidal force and differential gravitational pull are not sufficient for pulling the continent or movement of continent. Coastline changes, so there cannot be the evidence of continental drift theory. Volcanism, earthquake, these kind of phenomena has not been explained. So mind it, UPSC can ask you a question on simply criticism. This is the most important aspect of what? There are two important aspects of continental drift theory. First is evidences and second is criticism. So a 10 marker can easily be asked on criticism. Clear? Then seafloor spreading theory. This can also be asked. This was the basis of plate tectonics theory. You know that this model is called what? Tarcott model. This convection cells which are there will be Tarcott model, and seafloor spreading theory was a closed system approach. It stated that amount of earth created, amount of crust created is equal to amount of earth destroyed. All right, lithosphere is floating over asthenosphere. So this theory can also be asked. So you will have to explain about the trench formation, ridge formation. And now UPSC gives you certain new words in geography. It has the habit of asking mental plume. Mental plume. What is mental plume? So from here, see, asthenosphere is a part of mental only. You know that. So anything which is any liquid thing which is coming from the mantle asthenosphere will be what? Mental plume. Be it through volcano, be it through the fissures which is present on the earth surface. So it will be what? Mental plume. So mental plume based hotspots will be there. Mental plume based the structures which can be there. Causes of mental plume is simply what? The causes of volcanism. All the causes are lying in plate tectonics theory. Are you understanding? So you should be understanding the keywords. Look at this. Then plate tectonics theory. If they are asking about the plate tectonics theory, again you will have to take up this continental drift theory and Harry Hess seafloor spreading theory was what? Was the basis of plate tectonics theory. This is actually more relevant to mains than that of pre. These contents are more relevant to mains. Look at the structure which is provided in this content only. You'll have assumptions, then theory. You know, this question simply can come. Atlantic is widening, Pacific is shrinking, and Himalayas are rising. Examine the statement. All right. So examine the statement. How do you examine that statement? It will see, like in PT I told you कि questions जो बोलेंगे यहीं से दिख जाएगा. अभी भी मैं बोल रहा हूं मेंस में भी जो बता रहे हैं ना क्वेश्चन वहीं से दिख जाएगा. See, in this question, plate tectonics, if this question comes, I'll tell you how it is different from the plate tectonics theory. Understand very clearly, very minutely, very deeply. When this question comes, Atlantic is widening, Pacific is shrinking, and Himalayas is rising. Examine. So in that case, examples become primary and plate tectonics theory becomes secondary. Are you understanding my point? Atlantic region will have what? Ridge, MOR, mid-oceanic ridge. So you are not going to give importance to plate tectonics theory in your answer, but you are going to give importance to examples. Are you understanding my point? Question is the light in which you have to travel. समझ में आया? This is very important concept. People will tend, oh, plate tectonics लड़ गया, पहले पूरा बिना दिमाग लगाए you have written plate tectonics theory. That these things are shown as a matter of example of the argument which you have put forward. But I am saying you what this is, this in this case, let's say this question comes, examples first, then theory is last, theory is second. Atlantic region, you first talk about the Atlantic region where you will have the mid-oceanic ridge. You go like this, and mid-oceanic ridge are lying on the divergent boundary, and because of this divergence, new continents are created in Atlantic region near mid-oceanic ridge. So that's why the ocean is increasing, expanding. Are you understanding my point? Make a diagram also. Make a diagram, illustration. Are you understanding? What I did? The same content was presented according to the question. If it is about the plate tectonics theory, examine plate tectonics theory. So I'll say plate tectonics theory assumes that lithosphere is divided into certain major and minor plates which are in relative motion with each other. Because of the interaction of these plates, what will happen? You will have the divergent boundary. On divergent boundary, you will have creation of ridge, and ridge formation will result into what? See, the creation of new continent. Example, Atlantic region. Ab bolo, the first content and second content. Content is same, but presentation is different. Very, very important concept. Very, very important idea. So read. Trenches are there, na? Suju zone, continental. So सब भूल गए हैं खा पी के बराबर. I understand, but believe me, in next 10 days you all will be in mains mode. You all will be in mains mode, in writing mode, and it is very important this transition should happen as quickly as possible. Okay, now you do not have to go behind each and every fact. You go behind the structure, you go behind the presentation, you go behind the understanding of the question. Yesterday, some people have sent me about democracy is the best system. All right, and they have written not according to the question. Question is something else and you are writing something else. Do you think examiner is a fool? No. All right, and examiner, do not ever think that this thing I will write, and if examiner does not know that, then do not get that idea. Examiner knows everything. Let's say on this question, he is checking, the person is checking 100 copies. So let's say on one particular question, 10 copies once you evaluate, you'll get the idea of everything. All right. So when it is talked about democracy is the best system available, you must have given a comparative analysis of democracy and other systems. And in all those 35 small paragraphs, you must justify this only, that democracy is the best system available. If you're not doing that, you are deviating. Himalayas are rising because Eurasian and Indian plate. Okay. So this is the. Do I need to explain plate tectonics theory? So I'll just move ahead. Mosam, do I need to explain that?
No, sir.
Okay. So this is Nubian plate, then come geomagnetism. There will be what? There will be in geomagnetism, there will be what? The questions will be what? Geomagnetism, a beautiful question can come. All right. The questions will be like the causes of geomagnetism. Questions will be on what? The impacts of geomagnetism. Questions will be on role of core. Role of Earth's core in shaping the life on the Earth. Role of Earth's core in shaping the life on the Earth. All right. So how to give it a structure? How to give it a structure? Well, when you are writing about the causes, does geomagnetism have any anthropogenic regions, anthropogenic causes? Causes of geomagnetism, can it be anthropogenic? No. This is what? Largely natural causes only. All right, Van Allen radiation belt. So what is that cause? What is that cause? Churning of outer core. All right, outer core solidifying into the inner core, solid inner core, and that result into massive release of energy, which will help in a churning motion in outer core, and that churning motion, because of the dynamo effect, it will create what? Geomagnetic field, and because of the Earth's rotation from west to east, that will be what? Geomagnetism. Clear, eh? Making sense? Making sense to all of you? Utility of geomagnetism, this is going to be very, very important. They will ask you questions from here. Solar flares, coronal mass ejection, paleomagnetism, and these are what? These are the points which you can write there, and after then you can write one line about that. Just one line about that. All right. So paleomagnetism facilitates in electronics communication, by supporting the what? Charging, different charge, gets trapped there, and it also helps in keeping the charge stable in that region. So that's why it will facilitate what? Electronic communication. Ring current, you know about ring current. What is ring current? Charged particles hovering around Earth equator. It is near Earth equator. So ring current, aurora borealis. So do you know? So if you are talking about the utility of geomagnetism, so utility will be what? Tourism utility also. And tourism utility होगा कि नहीं होगा? नहीं, यूटिलिटी को नहीं डिवाइड करेंगे ना नेचुरल एंड एंथ्रोपोजेनिक में. You can use that according to the question, but here utility is what? Economic utility. Economic utility, that is what? Tourism for northern lights and southern lights. Did you understand? Economic utility is what? Facilitating electronics communication. Are you understanding my point?
Yes, sir.
समझ में आ रहा है how to write that? मौसम?
Yes, sir.
PT से मेंस मोड में शिफ्ट हो रहा है. Are you switching from PT mode to mains mode? All right. Then again, you must understand about the earthquake. If they are asking about the earthquake is nothing but it is the sudden release of energy, and where it is the sudden release, that will be called hypocenter. And on surface, its projection will be what? Epicenter. Focus will be where? Hypocenter, where the release of energy is there. Where the sudden release of energy is there, it can be divided into P waves, body waves, and surface waves. So if you are talking about seismicity, essentially make this chart. Essentially make this chart. All right. Body waves, surface waves, है ना, long P waves and S waves. So here P waves are fast waves, manifestation is L wave. S wave are slow wave, manifestation is Rayleigh wave. All right. So you know that most likely you will not be, this is a PT content. This is a PT content. This will not be there in mains. All right. Simply you will have, you will be asked what about earthquake, what earthquake regions, earthquake, patterns and earthquake impacts. All right, look at this, how beautifully I have explained it to you. Causes, effects, prediction, measurement and remedy. So you can talk about that. You know about the causes, effects. Look at this, the structure which is provided. Now see the structure which is provided. Land, believe me, do not strictly do not go to NC. In NCRT also you will not find such organized content, such organized structure. So whenever you get some organized structure, keep that with yourself. And do not deviate, do not read anything else for earthquake from any other source. You do not have time. Whatever is there, you are not going to read it from any other source. All right. So this is landscape and this is what? Human. So tsunami is there, river capture, change in contour, loss of vegetation, landslide and soil creep, loss of life and property, famine. These all can be the impacts. Earthquake prediction, it is also has been given. Analysis of geomagnetic behavior, study of seismic lags and usual behavior of animals, Somalian elephants. So this is what? This is very important. So UPSC can ask a 10 marker or 15 marker on simply this prediction of earthquake. All right, prediction of earthquake. So again, in prediction of earthquake, starting with that introduction, here also you will have to talk about the earthquake prone region. Make a small map of earthquake prone region. All right, and plate tectonics theory. Prediction of earthquake, you will also have this plate tectonics theory. Can you predict earthquake with the help of plate tectonics theory? All the plate boundaries will be what? Prone to earthquake. Are you understanding my point? So measurement, let's talk about the measurement. Measurement will be on, look, my point is very simple now. Okay, do not run behind the content too much, improve your presentation. In the market, everybody is running behind the content. Those who are smart, who run behind the presentation. You run behind the presentation, immediately your marks will increase. Suit up. Have the basic content and then, think of presentation, how to present that, how to understand the topic in a very, very deeper way. All right. So its measurement will be what? In two terms, Richter scale and modified Mercalli scale. Remedy. Again, remedy is disaster management approach. This is earthquake. It has been asked in UPSC, and I do not think there is much more dimensions to earthquake from which UPSC can ask the question. All right. This is what I believe is the most important, diagram for this geomorphic processes. You will have endogenic and sudden movement will be volcanism and earthquake. So earthquake will be what? What kind of will be created because of what kind of forces? Endogenic forces, endogenic movements. All right. All right. And these are the part of the sudden movements. You can start the introduction like that also. Earthquake is the part of earthquake is caused, if they are asking about the regions for the earthquake, so earthquake will be caused by what? The endogenic movements. Endogenic movements or endogenic forces are sudden endogenic forces. You start with that. Are you understanding my point?
सर जितने भी मैप्स होंगे वो कहाँ पे मिल जाएंगे सर इंडिया जैसे
कहीं नहीं. You think हाँ.
इंटरनेट से देखते हैं
अरे think and create by yourself. Think and create by yourself. All right. So slowly it will come. You tell me na. Tell me anything on which you want the India's map. Inclusive growth. Can you create India's map on inclusive growth? Can you create that? Think of it. Bolo, inclusive growth. So, Devo, here you will have to think what you are going to present on the map. You are going to present on the map the, how far this inclusive growth has penetrated that particular region. What do you understand by inclusive growth? Inclusive is growth reaching the last person standing in the queue. All right. So if we talk about inclusive growth in Delhi and inclusive growth in Ladakh region, where do you think that better inclusivity is there? In Delhi. So you will have to talk about what? Let's categorize this inclusive growth into 3 parts or 2 parts if you are facing difficulty. Let's categorize it into 2 or 3 parts. 2 parts how? High inclusive growth, moderate to low inclusive growth. Moderate to high and moderate to low inclusive growth. And then divide India into north, south, northeastern divide. Banao, socho, kuch, have the thinking in your mind, na? And tell me where you will have the high to. If we talk about southern India, you will have a better inclusive growth. If we talk about northern India, relatively lesser. But if we come to the northeastern India, you will have what? Least. Are you understanding my point? So do not write that. Do not write that. Make a map and show that. Make a map and show that. That's what I want. I did not create the map intentionally so that you could create the map, but you are writing. Create the map immediately. All right. This is north, south, and northeast divide. This is north, south, and northeast divide. All right. Here you will have moderate to high. Here moderate to low. And here you will have the least, low. Here you will have low. How beautiful map this is. This is showing some kind of analysis. Are you understanding? Mosam, samajh mein aaya?
Yes, sir. Instead, we can also draw a matrix also about north, south, east, west, northeast, and then moderate to high and moderate to low. And then we write about certain areas like UP, Bihar, they have moderate to low. Then northeast has very
Yes. That's a very good idea. That's a very good idea. That's a very good idea. You can also put a matrix here. Implement presentation. My idea is about presentation, not about the content. Content is also there, but you must focus upon presentation. Improve the presentation and get 420 plus. All right. So this can be there. This can be separately be asked as a question. Weathering and erosion. Types of weathering. And what do you understand by erosion? It's an in situ break. Erosion is as an ex situ break. All right. So physical weathering, chemical weathering, and biological weathering. You know about biological weathering. Biological weathering will never survive on its own. It will change itself to either physical weathering or to the chemical weathering. Are you understanding my point? So this is physical, chemical, and biological weathering. Then comes to landform. You know about that. No, I do not need to explain that. Then fluvial landforms. Again, here, if you are asked about any landforms, either take the structure of erosional and depositional feature or take the structure of youthful, mature, and old stage. So it will be easier to have erosional and depositional feature. I'll tell, if you go to youthful, mature, and old stage, if you go to old stage, mind it, what will be more important in old stage? Old stage will have the depositional features. Are you understanding my point? So you will have to show in India's map that where do you find this old stage features? Where do you find the depositional features? And where do you find these erosional features? Do not move in geography without map. Ideally, for every 10 marks, 2 maps should be there. Or one map or one illustration, one structure. Once you have started creating the structure, once you have started giving the structure to your answer, you will see that there is no dearth of content. There is no content which is required. Are you understanding my point? Do I need to explain this? I have already explained that. Base level will not come, but river rejuvenation can come anytime. River rejuvenation or polycyclic landforms. So mind it, if it is asking about river rejuvenation, so the answer will be written in different format. If it is asking about polycyclic landform, then answer will be written in a different format. All right, polycyclic landform will be landform focused. River rejuvenation will be what? River focused. Are you understanding my point? River regimes and all. So causes will be used static, and dynamic causes. We have already discussed that. What is static causes? Regime, yes, change in river regime. But what is dynamic causes? Yes, subsidence or upliftment of coastal region, subsidence or upliftment of what? The the seabed. Polycyclic landforms, you know that. Nick Point Falls, valley in valley, entrenched meander and ingrown meander. It has been asked by UPSC. Entrenched and ingrown meander. And stair-like formations.
Sir,
Yes, tell me.
can you please give us a structure for like the river interlinking projects? If supposing a question is asked on that, so how do we structure that using all this content?
Yes, very good. So what first you think that what kind of questions can be asked for a river interlinking project? The most important part, most important aspect of it will be how far it is ambitious, how ambitious this project is. So what is the feasibility of this river interlinking project? All right. So this kind of question will be asked. Examine the feasibility of what? River interlinking project. So what kind of feasibility then you will see? This topographic feasibility, economic feasibility, this political willingness, and then what? Environmental, ecological feasibility. All right. And then what? Technological feasibility. All those angle will be there. Are you understanding my point, Mosam?
Yes, sir.
So, and then you will be talking about that southern India will be on high altitude and northern India will be on what? Lesser altitude. So you will be what? The plain area, Gangetic plain area will be on lesser altitude in comparison to southern India. So Ganga Godavari link is very difficult. It will practically not possible because of that topographic barrier. Or sometimes even if you do that, for example, we are having this Patasima irrigation lift canal. Where is that? Godavari and Krishna. It is trying to link Krishna. So here the water is lifted, the pump is being used. So there is Mihir Shah committee. So you start with this, that inter-river linking project is a very ambitious project of Government of India, aimed at creating what? Balanced water availability in all the regions. You did not go for what? Saying drought or managing drought or floods. I said what? Balanced water availability in both the regions. You start with that, and then you will have to examine the feasibility of that. So you must be knowing about the successes, and you must be knowing about the failures. So success will be what? What will be the success? What will be the success? Basin level success is there. Sipra Yamuna link is completed. Kosi Mechi link is there. Kane Vetwa link is completed. So this is what? Basin level linkages are being completed, and it is being focused also. Basin level interlinkages. It was recommended by Mihir Shah committee. It was recommended by Mihir Shah committee. So in conclusion, this must be the conclusion if you have to talk about the feasibility. So in feasibility, not just the national examples, but international examples should be also be provided. China has done a very successful river interlinkages in their own region. But on the other hand, New Zealand tried to link the river, and what happened? Because of the interlinkages of river, it was studied that earthquake has increased in that particular region. It is associated with the earthquake. Are you understanding my point? So these type of case studies. Did you understand this?
Yes, sir.
So then comes to the glacial landforms which can be there. All right, the questions will not be on the basis of this. This will not be a question, that types of glacier. All right, you should understand this area, this part, which will be used in what? Used as an analysis while writing a question on glacier. Glacial budget. If ablation is more than accumulation, that means what? River flow will be there. Accumulation is more than ablation. That will be what? Relating into the surplus. And these are the landforms, erosional features and depositional features. Make a diagram of each one of them. Do not miss the diagram and small diagrams. Small diagrams. This is very, very important. Karst topography, anytime it can be asked. Formation condition. Yes. समझ रहे हो क्या करना है? Karst topography. See, everybody is focusing upon what? That how to read certain content on karst topography. Believe me, it is the least productive thing for mains preparation. What exercise we are doing now? That okay, this topic comes, this is the presentation idea. This topic comes, this is the presentation idea. This is the best exercise. What will be the karst topography? Again, formation conditions, width and depth of limestone, non-percolating bed of limestone, jointed limestone, rainfall, mild temperature, Yugoslavia, MP, Netherhat, Rohtas in Bihar, all these things will be there. So you can make a diagram also, 3D map. You can make a 3D map for that. Can you create that? Can you create that? Look, if you have to create a map, most of you are engineering students, so you will have to, you did engineering drawing, no? नहीं किए? कोई बात नहीं. This is 45 degree. You put this is a particular type of projection for 3D mapping. All right, this is 45 degree, and this one is what? Again 45 degree, you keep that on 45 degree almost. All right, and here you will have this what, river, sinkhole, swallow hole. All right, Ubala, Dolin, and then Polje. You created it like that. All right, and here on this wall, you just do not show this. You just imagine in your mind that how you are creating this diagram. From here, you will have this stalactite, stalagmite. This is pillar. There will be certain caves which will be there. Inside that, these are the caves. All right, and here you will have certain ponors. These are certain ponors. All right, and you will have the underground drainage system. Write the name. This is what? This is blind valley, sinkhole, swallow hole, Uvala, Dolin, Polze, caves or caverns, cliff or stalagmite, stalagmite, a stalactite, stalagmite, pillar, and this is ponors. And this one is underground drainage. Are you understanding my point? So look how beautifully this diagram has been created. That's what this is the idea of creating a diagram. Let's say you wanted to show some river structure, river, youthful, mature, and old stage. Do not be scared. Just try to create the diagram. All right. So again, this thing is there. And you do not have to be very good painter, very artistic. You simply wanted to show that. So in river, let's say here rivers are going. So here you will have the deeper gorge which will be created. This is the youthful stage of the river. And here from here it will be coming into the moderate stage. And from here you will have the meandering rivers. This is meandering channel. This is youthful, youth, mature, and old. All right, and corresponding to that, here you can show this what, I-shaped valley or V-shaped valley. This is, you write that V-shaped valley. I-shaped valley. All right, in mature you will have this wide U-shaped valley. So here you will have this U-shaped valley. All right, so here, or you can take a cross section and show it like that. Here you will have U-shaped valley. Meander, and here you will have the what, delta. Meander and delta will be there. Are you understanding my point? How to represent that in a 3D diagram? And when you create a diagram, you do not just leave naked. Close it in what? In a box and write down the heading of the diagram. All right. What is this heading all about? Karst topographic features. Are you understanding my point? I'm helping you to understand how to present. So again, erosional and depositional, aeolian landforms, you know erosional and depositional, you can just handle it now. Coastal landforms, look at this. These diagrams are, these diagrams are doable diagrams by yourself. All right. and volcanism and its landforms. Look at this: causes, types, and volcanic landforms are there. Causes, types of volcano. Types of volcano, again on the basis of eruption and on the basis of nature of eruption. All right. All right. This is very easy to handle this: active, dormant, and extinct. So everybody will write this, but this will be missed on the basis of eruption. All right. So you should be remembering that. Then you will get good marks. Volcanic landforms. Look at this: the structure which is given: intrusive versus extrusive landforms. This structure is there. I'm asking you to read the same content with mains perspective. All right. All right. And then comes oceanography. And then comes oceanography. All right. So this will be done in the next class, because today people have gone for UPPCS. And there are many people who requested to, wait for today. But since it was pre-announced, so I have taken the session. But let them give some considerations also. So I will be doing it in the next session. All right.
Thank you, sir.
It is there. Check in files. It is sent. Check in files. Check in files in the group. It is sent. Acha. Wait, hold on. So, did you understand? सबको समझ में आया कि क्या करना है? How? What is mains all about? I want that in these 6-7 days you should be knowing about at least how to write answer. Presentation अलग कर. Material. My idea is what? Almost everywhere. My point is, you read one thing from one source and keep that thing intact forever. You do not increase your material. You increase your material, that is a trap. Very vitally increase your material. हाँ. उसको छोड़ दो. पीटी में जैसे environment से उस तरीके का क्वेश्चन नहीं पूछता है. I will be telling you ना.